So take a look at this bucket of water. This is what settled out of our water here. This is a well out in country, and before the season started, or before the summer started, you wouldn't see things like this. But because we are in the middle of a drought here in Minnesota, that means that we are getting things sucked into our well that we've never had before. So I wanted to give you an idea of how we capture this and keep this out of the house before it gets into our plumbing in the house. So it's catching that sediment right out of the well is this little spin down filter. Now this is something that's been in here forever, and it really, I haven't had to change the filters too often on this. I would have to flush it maybe once every couple of months, but because of the drought and we're sucking water in probably at lower levels than ever before, we're getting more sediment. But this has been in here, and as you can see, there's been paint on it, and we do have a little bit of rust or manganese in our water, so that's why you see that it has discolored over the years. But you can take it apart and wash it out with an iron out, and that cleans that plastic right back up. I've taken the handle off it because we have children, and I always had this fear if the kids would come in here and see this handle and turn it, we could have a major problem because it's an indoor filter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to run some water through this and put it into that bucket to show you what is happening, because we typically would only have to flush this probably once every 2 to 3 months, changing it about twice a year, that type of situation. There have been years where we've only changed it once a year, and even then I didn't really need to. But we have had to change this actually weekly, and we're having to flush this once or twice a day in the midst of our drought that we're having up here in Minnesota. Let's flush this out. What I'm going to do is just hold a bucket under that and let some water flush go through. We're only going to be drawing off about half a gallon of water, similar to the amount that was in the bucket when we started this video, to see what is being caught in that filter. Now I just went through and flushed that, and you can see that there's some sediment. I wonder if I didn't, the couple little things here, the little bugs or whatever those are floating, I'm thinking maybe that came from the wall as I knocked it down. But you can see down in the middle, there's some sediment that comes in. We have a lot of air in the water, because when it comes spraying out of there, it has quite a bit. But let's let this sit for a few minutes and see what is settled up once the water clears. So after a few minutes, this is kind of what has settled out of the water so far from this little emptying of the spin down filter. This is kind of a combination of some silt, a little bit of silt around the outer part of the bucket, and then right in the middle you're looking at kind of a clump of manganese and grit. But if you're having problems with your water flow from a well during a dry spell, you may be having additional things going through your water filters, and you need to check those out, because that might be impeding your water flow. We'll put a link in the description where you can find a spin down filter, and if you have problems with this, hey, put your questions down in the comment section and we'll do the best we can to answer them. This is John Young with the Weekend Handyman.
For more tips and how-to videos, go to weekendhandyman.com.